Clara Oswald, played by Jenna Coleman, first appeared in Doctor Who in Asylum of the Daleks, airing on the 1st of September 2012, playing Clara Oswald. She became the full-time companion Clara Oswald from Series 7 to Series 9, started with The Bells of St. John in 2013 to Face the Raven / Hellbent in 2015. Her last on-screen appearance was in Twice Upon a Time on Christmas Day 2017. Despite Jenna Coleman's appearances spanning half a decade, Clara Oswald's, however, did not. That is, at least, the same Clara Oswald. Clara Oswald from Series 7 and Clara Oswald from Series 9 are two different people. Quite literally, in fact. There are several reasons to back up this horrifying theory. From the beginning, in 2014, when I saw the change, I always knew Clara from the previous series was not the same person whatsoever, and these are the frightening reasons why. Clara in Series 7, or Clara A, was always in a dress, typically with boots and the occasional jacket, very fresh-faced and youthful in personality and looks-wise with long hair. Just a few episodes later, we can now see a drastic change. Series 8 Clara, Clara B. Unless in period clothing, never wore a dress, no longer in boots, and instead of the occasional jacket, wore more skirts and trousers and almost always a smart casual shirt. This Clara was also far more mature and responsible than her previous self, but far more than is responsible in just a few stories she appeared in between. Clara's hair also magically got shorter between Time with the Doctor and Deep Breath, an alarming first sign. It is not only her dress sense and personality that are polar opposites, their profession is too. Clara A is a nanny, just like Victorian Clara was, to Angie and Artie. Whilst wanting to travel, she showed no intention or signs of plans to change profession as she cared for both deeply. Clara B is out of nowhere a teacher who never mentions Angie or Artie ever again. They completely disappear and her teacher qualification appears out of thin air. There is no way this Clara is the same as the nanny. She cared too deeply for them to stop looking after them. Never mind, never mention them again. Also, where were they both at her Christmas dinner? They no longer existed, but then again, neither did Clara A anymore. But Angie and Artie's disappearance is a chilling, horrifying story for another time. It's not only Angie and Artie who seem to have disappeared, it's also Clara's memory of her mum. Clara A still keeps the memory of her parents, specifically her mum and the leaf, very close to her physically and mentally. Clara B never mentions either her mum or the leaf ever again, as if never existing. Well, at least, for this Clara, they never did. Speaking of Christmas and her parents, one of the biggest giveaways is the different dad and mysterious new woman, Linda. Not only does she have a different dad, which on its own would have been suspicious, but this woman called Linda seems to be taking on a role of her mother, not just relationship-wise, but physically. It is speculated that this is really her stepmom, but if you listen closely, she's called Linda, but I never hear her reference the stepmom to Clara in any way, shape, or form. So, who is this woman, and where did she come from? An eerie and unnerving mystery that shall remain unanswered for the rest of time. If you dig deep, there are several dark rumours as to why Clara becomes two contrasting people. One I personally have uncovered, not mentioned before, is it perhaps has to do with the involvement of Bad Wolf in the 50th anniversary, which take place right at the heart of this twisted cover-up. Clara has a heavy involvement in the 50th anniversary, and did you know at one stage Clara was the only character credited to be in the 50th anniversary special? It was also considered that the episode should be based around her. Coincidence? Spookily not. An extravagant but plausible theory that sheds some light on why Clara B exists is, could Clara really be Rose? Think about it, they live in the same place. Both Clara and Rose have long hair in the first series and short in the second. Both were getting closer and closer to having a romantic type of relationship with the Doctor, with continuous hints throughout the series, along with both travelling with two different doctors. All of these are subtle nods towards what is possibly an abandoned plot, Stephen Moffat was under a lot of pressure in making the 50th anniversary, ending the era of one Doctor and starting the next. It makes sense why there was this build-up to the change and why it was continuing into the next series, as it was probably too late to cover up. It was the reveal that was pulled from the 50th at the last minute, which is why we never get answers to this anomaly. On the subject of anomalies, fans of Primeval know this is not the first time walking into a time stream has altered the personality of someone forever. Claudia Brown was part of the team designated to investigating and closing these unknown time anomalies that popped up. Primeval was ITV's answer to Doctor Who mania seen in the peak of the RTD era. Claudia in her first series was building up to a relationship with Nick Cutter, the leader of the team. Nick walked into an anomaly, or time stream so to speak, and what happened in that time period meant Claudia Brown was deleted from history, never to be seen again. In the next series, Claudia returned, but not as Claudia, instead an utterly different person called Jenny Lewis. Same actress, different character. Sound familiar? These chilling similarities are almost a mirror image to what happened to Clara A in order for Clara B to happen. This example of the type of change Claudia went through to become Jenny helps to make it understandable how, and more specifically, where the change takes place for Clara. Pinpointing the exact moment of the change was a challenge, but after immense research and careful observation, it becomes apparent where Clara A tragically dies, and Clara B takes her place. The moment Clara A steps into the Doctor's time stream, she changed, a byproduct of the creation of Oswin. Clara changed forever, permanently erasing Clara A, allowing Clara B to inhibit her. This is the moment Clara changes from A to B, the final piece of this unsettling, secret, disturbing puzzle, which goes unnoticed to most. Next time you watch Clara, look closely and the unsettling truth will become visible, but be careful. Look too closely and you will uncover something far darker about this terrifying possession, which cannot be forgotten.